It's Thursday night and you're watching the Handicap, the rugby show that matters, or at least it matters almost as much as that other Afrikaans show. Welcome everyone. Henrik, welcome.
How's
We're
it going?
chatting rugby without we've been let off the leash tonight.
Yeah, Brent has, like you said, he's let us off the leash, left us to get out of the cage. So yeah, I'm taking over his show.
Listen, Henrik, I don't know if you've been on yet after your escapades, but geez, it must have been one heck of an experience being in France for some of those games. It looked like a heck of a party.
Yeah, I was lucky, Brent. I always call you Brent. I'm so in the habit when I'm on this show. Yeah, it was brilliant. I got lucky with those two games I watched. New Zealand versus Ireland and the box against France. Two brilliant quarterfinals. Probably two of the best games of the whole World Cup. So yeah, I got really lucky. Really enjoyed it. The whole atmosphere in the stadium was unreal. Like especially that France game. It's like the best atmosphere I've ever experienced in any like sport, live sport I've watched. So yeah, it was great. And yeah, after that game and all the playoff games, we got a lot of stress, but luckily the box pulled through. I know we get a lot of overseas viewers, especially Irish viewers on this show. So I feel for them. But yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It was great.
No, I think if you tried to do that in advance, you couldn't have picked a better weekend to be there. It was I think after the New Zealand game, it was like, yeah, that was the best quarterfinal ever played. And then it's like, no, but wait, there's more. Then we topped it the very next game. So that was insane. I think we spoke about it a little bit. It's a bit tougher just getting back on the horse, and it's almost like going to small fry now. Just the URC hanging around. I don't know if you've been on some of the other rugby. I know some sevens coming up as well, but it's almost like there's just a little bit of a downer after this big excitement of the World Cup at this stage.
Yeah, and it is. What is betting wise? It wasn't my best World Cup. I had a loss for the World Cup in all. So rugby betting wise, I'm on not in the best form, and then like when you hit a slump, you're not that involved. You're not excited to get into the games. But the URC, I've got into the URC slowly. Not watched a lot of it. Like if I can watch it, I do. And the first weekend I lost a bit, and last weekend I actually made a small profit on it. So yeah, I'm getting more excited about it, and the international players not back into it yet. So there's probably some nice opportunities if you study closely. You can beat the books. So yeah, well, I'm happy to get more involved now. And one of like the box, I think the box have a 3-week mandatory rest period, so not long. Then we'll see the box again as well. So yeah, the URC is gonna get better and get more exciting from now on.
I must say, I think between the World Cup and the Cricket World Cup, I think the Proteas might have done me a favour now, because now it's full focus onto the rugby, as there's no distractions on the other side. So as like the same with you, I've only been watching a few games here and there. Obviously the South African games and anyone.
Hopefully not the short games.
Unfortunately, luckily
I know you're a Sharks fan. Sorry, I just had to do that.
Luckily, they usually double book him, so you can just go to the other screen. So that's the idea. Henrik, let's get into this one. Edinburgh and the Bulls tomorrow night. I don't know about you. I know we've almost had a tradition where Friday night rugby seems to cost you some coin, and then you also get off to a bad start of the weekend. So that's never great. But geez, we've got some rugby on the go there, so it is nice watching rugby on a Friday evening though. And Edinburgh and the Bulls promises to be a good one. Just obviously I like to take a little bit of a step back and look at the teams and things like that. And to me, Jake White and his team look to have finally turned the corner this season. I think they've got a solid squad. They've got some good results, and especially some away from home, and things are starting to look I wouldn't say rosy. They're looking jacaranda coloured in Pretoria at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you. I expected more of them last week was against Cardiff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
And they won by 6 in the end. What was it, 18-12 in the end? It's you probably can't
Yeah, they
it
let
down.
them back in, and
Yeah, it's a away win, but I expected more points. It's probably because I was on Bulls overs that I'm a bit disappointed. But yeah, like you say, at least they look like they turned the corner. It's a away win. You gotta have respect for that. Edinburgh, yeah, they beat Connacht, and yeah, Connacht they've actually looked quite impressive so far in the early rounds. What's the handicap? 3.5 here.
3.5.
Yeah, you probably have to go for a plus because I'd make this closer to choice. So you're getting a plus, or if you want, just take the value and take the Bulls to win the game. But this, I haven't really checked the weather, but this looks like a game that can have points as well. But saying that, a lot of the games have been unders as well. So I've stepped into a few traps. But yeah, I think the way to go here is the plus. What's your thoughts?
I was just gonna say the Undertaker starting off with overs play, and that after getting burnt last week, so it looks like he's I don't know, it's definitely still some World Cup hangover there, I think. But no, I always struggle with Friday evening games on overs. To me, it's just night rugby and slippery conditions. Kind of usually that side, it's just it's not conducive. But I do think the Bulls team usually has some points in them. I mean, Stedman Gans is playing good rugby at outside centre at the moment. Johan Goosen is a pretty creative kind of 10, so they do enjoy playing a little bit more ball in hand rugby. So I think they lure you into an overs play or wanting to. At Edinburgh the same. I mean, obviously when you've got I think Duan is playing this weekend. When you've got a Duan van der Merwe, then you want to get him the ball. So it is two attacking teams, but as I said, I'm just a bit concerned on Friday night rugby. It just I don't know, cuts a bit different for me. As I said, I love the Bulls, and I actually think they title contenders this season. Don't shoot me for it, but especially if they're going to get a home run in a quarter and a semi, there, I think they could be the Stormers of 2023, 24. But at this moment, Edinburgh at home, I think they're going to get the job done. Edinburgh have been quite impressive, and I'm not going to rush into anything. Yeah, I see Johan Esterhuizen has got either team by 1-7. So I also agree. I think this one could be a tight slog, not necessarily in terms of the total score, but in terms of the margin. So yeah, I think nothing massive. Of course, the big thing that stands out to me of Jake has rotated his team quite a lot, but not A team, B team, just bringing in and mixing things up. So the big one as a try scorer, punter, as you know, Hendrik, that I do like is old Jan Hendrik Wessels. When he's on the bench, it's the same as Akker van der Merwe. They just scream out at me, obviously as a hooker punter predominantly as well. Those guys take the cake. So for me, Jan Hendrik Wessels on the bench. I know you like to label them big selfish guys, and he's one of those selfish lads who he loves a meat pie.
So you're liking him for last try scorer probably?
Yeah, I'm liking him for last try scorer of the bench there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just the interesting one, Hendrik, I think as well, obviously not as much in the team or the end result, but Jaco van der Walt also getting his run on there against the old team. So that's going to be an interesting one off the bench. And then the other little side note is Sean Everett obviously got some big inside knowledge there of the Bulls camp over the last few months, and now he's on the other side. So definitely a few intricacies there to look forward to in that one.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like you say, lots of South African influence at Edinburgh. The Scottish teams, they like buying the South African players. So yeah, probably no Afrikaans line-out scores from the Bulls.
Well, if they have to go to English ones, it might be a struggle for them as well.
Yeah, I thought the same when I said that. I thought they're probably going to struggle with the English ones. Yeah, there's probably a few guys that can speak Xhosa, so maybe go that route.
But have a better a chance in that one. Ulster and Lions, the second up there. I think to me the Lions have punched a bit.
Sorry, you're breaking up a bit. I think you might have to restart your Wi-Fi. Your is frozen, so I'm probably on my own. Ulster Lions. Let me just quickly check the handicap again. Ulster favourites by 2 tries, 14.5. The Lions, they've actually impressed me so far this season. They've covered a few pluses. I remember Benetton, and then last week again. I like the Lions on a plus, even though Ulster, they're a very good side and one of the better sides, and they were impressive last week again. But I like the Lions on a plus. Yeah, I have a feeling this might be an unders game. I think I was impressed by the Lions' defense so far, so this is an unders game for me. And I think the plus as well, even though Ulster have been impressive. So I see your back on mine. He left me alone a bit there.
Thanks for the monologue, I presume there, Alec. But
I just said I think the plus is the way to go here. Lions, they've been impressive on the pluses, and I think this just feels like an unders game for me as well. You said the Friday games, but I think the Lions, they're all right on the defense these days, so this just feels like an unders game for me.
Yeah, Masanik, it's almost they wouldn't like to hear me call them a small team, but it's almost like at the World Cup with these smaller teams when they're the underdogs. It's like the Lions just keep punching above their weight when you don't really expect them to stay in the fight. And I think to me they're the plus team all the way. When it shifts and they may be playing in South Africa and they've earned the respect and they go to favourites, I might not be as keen to back them later on, but at this stage, I think there's definitely still some value in backing the Lions. And I mean, Ulster to me haven't really impressed that much, and especially I like to have some accumulators. So a bigger Lions plus to me is going into most multis for the weekend. As I said, they're a plucky side. I think there's it's almost like the opposite. We'll talk about the Sharks later, but the opposite of what's happening at the Sharks at the moment. There's just good vibes and they're playing for each other. So the plus all the way for me in this Lions game.
Oh, and now
you still Lions can keep it within 10. I see you on Estreisen. Yeah. Definitely agree on that one. On try scorers, maybe Andrik, if there's something I can ask you is just on Nwamba. Again, I'd like to go back to my Sharks there. Man is just revived his career, almost playing at the Lions, and he's almost got that French style going now. He's this 9 that plays 10, and I see they've gone for sticking to him at 10 at the moment. So definitely someone who's added a lot of value at the Lions at this stage.
Yeah, I see he's back to 9 this weekend on rugby. He's starting at 10, but he's a short goal kicking. Just suits him more, and like you said, this Lions from South Africa in more like a more senior player in the team. So now,
yeah, no, I think he's definitely flourishing in that setup and being given the more responsibility and being the primary kicker as well. He's definitely done a great job. Yeah, on the team news, I saw at Rugby 365, but I see on the Lions page he's listed as 10, so it looks like he is starting at fly off for the weekend.
Okay.
Hendrik, the last one for the Friday evening game, Zebra and Cardiff. Zebra obviously off the biggest win of their careers ever in their history, beating the mighty Sharks. Yo, what a team.
The mighty Sharks. Yeah, I know. Yeah, we probably don't have to say too much about the Sharks. As as good as the Zebra looked in that game, I'm not sure whether you can read too much into that because the Sharks has been really poor. And I was quite impressed by Cardiff last week against the Bulls. They lost 18-12, but they were. I was very impressed, especially with the two centers, the Zealand super Willis Holo, and I see Holo is on the bench this week. Ray Lilo starting and Ben Thomas at 12. The books are reading too much. Win last week. This is one of my strong. I have as well a while ago. Welsh teams in the URC, but this time I like this Welsh team. I think Cardiff on the minus here is a lot, and with the handicap being as close as it is, I think you're going to get a very nice points line on Zebra, and I'll be looking at unders. Anything over 2 converted tries, and I expect it to be higher than that. I expect it closer to 18 thereabouts. But I think unders on Zebra is going to be a very good bet, and the minus as well. Yeah, one of my very strong, probably my strongest bets of the weekend.
Yeah, Hendrik, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think you're not going to get this often where Zebra is overvalued, and it's because of what they did last weekend. And as you say, I don't think you can take a lot. Yes, they were plucky and they showed some good heart, but it was against a bang average Sharks team who really didn't want to be there. So I mean, I think Cardiff impressed, especially going down to the Bulls so early. You know, they could have easily just toppled over and given them or taken 20 there, and they didn't. They showed a lot of fight. So yeah, I'm surprised. Not what that center isn't starting.
No.
He had a massive game. That was he was very impressive. But hopefully he comes on in the second and as a strong impact. So to me, no, I'm in the same boat there, and I didn't think about the points bet on Zebra, but that's a good one as well. But yeah, I'm taking obviously them on the board into some multis and even the handicap. I mean that's way too short there. So Cardiff on the minus, definitely I think one of the better bets of the weekend. Then going into
thank you. And just to win the game.
Sorry, Alec, what I missed that one.
Cardiff into 20. It's price. Hear me?
Sorry, just you break up like every second word on my side there, Heinrich. You said
okay,
20.
No, can you hear me?
Yeah, go for it.
No, I just wanted to say you're actually getting a very nice price at 13 to 20, which is shortish, but that's against Zebra.
Yeah, no, it's definitely it's big enough. It's big enough to take outright as well, I think. So it's definitely I'm liking that one. Sharks against the Connacht, obviously a different kettle of fish. Hopefully for the Sharks being at home, but yeah, I don't know, Heinrich, if you've got any feel on the Sharks team at the moment. I think it's almost as much I want to say mental, but to me, if you really look across the team there without the Springboks, it just seems a average Sharks outfit at the moment. I mean, there might have been someone like Mchunu close to the Springbok setup. He looks bloody far away from it at the moment. And I mean, you run through the ranks, lock-wise, loose forward-wise, there's not really anyone close to the conversation in a Springbok setup. So it's probably understandable the fact that they just not getting the results. And we know you're not really a fan of a coaching setup either at the moment.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not a John Plumtree fan. I've never been. And as much as you have a look at the teams or at the Sharks team, they've got so much money they've got invested into the union, but they buy all the players. But I can't understand why they don't like throw money at a decent coach. John Plumtree, there's probably guys that rate him. I don't rate him. His record speaks for himself. I think when you invest into a union, go for a coach. There's lots of examples of unions that had very average players. You get a decent coach in there, all of a sudden the players make the national team. A coach can make a player look brilliant, but a great player can't make a good average coach look good. So yeah, I think they should just get a decent coach, but they've probably paid a lot of money for John Plumtree now, so they're probably going to be stuck with him for a few years. Yeah, I'm going for Connacht here. I like the plus. I think the plus is a great bet. It's a away game, but I think Connacht can win the game as well. Like you said, the Sharks are without the Springboks, and they are not very well coached at the moment. Connacht, I've been a Connacht fan for a few years, and yeah, I'll keep backing them. They're the Irish side that gets underestimated most of the time, but they produce the results, and they're a good side to back on the plus normally. So yeah, I like Connacht on the plus here.
Yeah, Masa Hendrik, to me, it's I can't see a reason for 7.5. You know, getting a score on that. Obviously, it could be the one game that the Sharks click and things go, but yeah, I think there's a better chance of seeing a whale in the harbour in Durban than them producing a fantastic event on the day. If the Sharks do scrap a win and I don't know, humid conditions, they might be able to do it. But no, the handicap, the plus is definitely the way to go. Also, I enjoy the way Connacht play rugby. Again, to me it's like the opposite of a Sharks team at the moment, where there's some entitlement and I don't know, attitude, and Connacht is just a team who look like they enjoy playing rugby and being together. So definitely Connacht on the plus there, and yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with my boys there. Munster and Stormers, Heinrich, it's to me it's a little bit of that's where I feel the Bulls have more momentum than the Stormers this season. There've been a couple of slip ups in the Stormers ranks again. They'll have some Springboks back later, but it just feels like there's a little bit of something different to the Stormers this season. Warwick Gelant has fallen around a little bit after being at France and coming back now, and it looks like he isn't quite. It looks like he's expecting things to be easy, and it's a little bit too loose at the moment for the Stormers, and not the kind of style. They're usually pretty good at getting the balance right, and at the moment they just seem a little bit off.
Yeah, I agree 100% on Gelant. I've always been a big fan of his before he went over to France, but he's been terrible. Last week against Benetton, that one try they scored where he tried to kick the ball. Why doesn't he just fall onto the ball there? It's crazy. He's like a Herschel Gibbs when he batted. He doesn't care. It's that kind of attitude to bring in the cricket into it again, which I probably shouldn't do. But yeah, like you said, the Stormers, they've been really poor. I was quite invested on them to beat Benetton last week. And look, Benetton is a decent sign, especially at home, but I expected more from John Dobson, who I haven't always been a fan of, but I was converted the last few seasons. And then now they're playing against Munster, who has a coach who I really rate very highly, Graham Roundtree. So this is a tricky one for me. I would have liked a lower handicap, and I would have probably been more confident on Munster. 9.5 thereabouts is tricky because you always have that late try that can go as a consolation try, and or like a penalty kick for the Stormers to lose by less than seven or less, something like that. So yeah, I'm unsure about this on If pushed, I'd probably go Stormers plus. I don't have a lot to back that up with the way the Stormers have played so far, but I just feel it's too big for Stormers side, who's been in the final last 2 years. You got to respect that. So I haven't had a look at the points. I'm not sure about the points on this one yet, but yeah, not a strong game for me. But if pushed, probably plus on the Stormers.
I mean, I think I'm 100% in the same boat. I love the change from Munster. I mean, we saw it last season. I don't even think we were expecting them to win it. We felt they were just changing course and heading in the right direction more for this season than last season necessarily. And I think they did it probably a season earlier than we thought. Probably not playing exactly the best rugby yet that they want to be playing, but it's a long season that. Yeah, it's just a little bit much. I would have been in the Munster camp there, away from home. It's not going to be easy for the Stormers. It's going to be a hard slog getting the W there. I can't really see them do it, but at the same time, I can definitely see them stay within 10. So to me, it's probably a no bet again in a accumulator. Maybe as a leg, I'll take a 14 or 17 and a half plus on the Stormers. Usually, they just Dobson has them in that kind of, they don't really take hiding, that's not in the Stormers setup. They're usually going to keep things tight and keep it respectable. So I will include it, but definitely not as the banker leg. It's just one to add there. And yeah, points is tough again. The Stormers to me away from home don't score probably quite as much as we expect them to. But again, they play that free style that it could come off and they could score 2 quick tries and then you're on the other side, and at the same time, they could fling a Clayton Blommetjies intercept if he is playing. I don't know, but so things could get a bit open and frantic there. So definitely, not one that I can. I haven't got a clear picture of how that game's going to go. Except I think Munster will get the job done, but not by too much.
Yeah. Okay.
Then on the. Dragons and Ospreys, I think I'm going to leave you on that one. I've got pretty much no clue on the two of them. I see the betting wise, it's pretty close as well, 2.5, 3.5, something like that. I haven't really been invested in their games thus far.
Yeah, you're throwing the hospital post my side, eh? The Welsh derby.
Beauty.
The Dragons, they played Leinster last week, and Leinster left it late to beat the Handicap there. In the end, Leinster did beat the Miners, and now the Dragons are at home and they're underdogs against Ospreys. Ospreys, let me quickly check. Last week they played against Glasgow and they lost at home against Glasgow. I feel the same as you probably, but if pushed, it is a Welsh derby, so you probably have to take the plus.
Take the team on the plus. I think.
Not sure on the comments if there's somebody that have a stronger fancy, but I think the plus in a game like this. And then I see points wise, it's close to 50 points. I just feel like this should be unders because it's a Welsh derby. It just feels high, close to 50 points. I would have had it closer to a 44 thereabouts.
No, that sounds solid. I agree there. Usually in these tight ones, derbies take the plus, and also I can't see a heck of a lot of points in that one. One that I do feel a little bit more excited about is Glasgow against Benetton. I mean, probably one of the teams of last season, Glasgow, and Franco has again got a team there that look pretty decent, playing decent rugby and looking like they're the same team as last season. I think the handicap, 10.5 is quite a big one though.
Yeah, it is big, but at home, and I'm a fan of Benetton. They get underestimated because they are one of the 2 Italian teams, but they at home especially they are nice to have back on the plus and stuff. But I think they might get caught out here. Like I can sense that you might be in the same camp as me. The way you spoke into that game. I think 11.5 isn't that big a handicap on them here. I think the minus definitely the way to go here. And I think there might be points in this one as well. I think Glasgow will find Benetton out. Look, Benetton, they've got a guy like Rayner Smith at the back, and he's very good. He kicks well at post as well. But yeah, I just feel the minus is the way to go here. If Benetton plays at home, I'll always probably back them. I didn't last week against the Stormers, but I think away from home they get found out a bit. So yeah, minus for me.
Yeah, I think at a push again, it's a nice little leg there. Take something less than 7.5 for Glasgow to win and throw in one of those legs that you feel confident on. That's the way I handle that kind of one. I can't see Glasgow losing that one. They're just playing bloody good rugby at the moment. I'm a fan of their game. And yeah, Benetton, as you say, to me they almost like the Lions. They're a plucky team, often get underrated, and they more often than not they don't get beaten on a plus handicap in my point of view. But yeah, definitely a different story away from home than at home. At home you're going to be confident on that. Away from home it could slip there at the end. The big one or the last one. Sorry, did you want to add something else on that?
No. Just I agree with you.
The last one, I think I can blindfolded say that you're probably going to be in the plus handicap on Leinster against Scarlets at a nice hefty 27.5.
Gee, this is a tough one, because that is I normally like to oppose Leinster, but then I like to oppose the Welsh teams as well, especially when they play cross country. So this is a tough one. Yeah, it is. Leinster have scored points, and Scarlets, they've leaked a bit as well. So I think the way to go is just points on this one. Overs on total points, and maybe Leinster points as well. I'm going to stay out of the handicap. This one is too big. If pushed, I'd probably go to minus, to be honest. But I'm not. I can't see myself having a bet on the handicap here. This is the last game as well, so hopefully I'll be up or I'll probably be chasing. Either way, I'll be having a look at the points or the tries here. No bet on the minus for me. I think total points, overs on total points should be the way to go. What's the total points? Poker bet should have it up. Let me just quickly check. Total point, it's quite high, very high, 60.5. Eh? That is very high. Sure. Maybe under 15.5 on Scarlets rather, because that is a very high quote. I was expecting closer to 50. So yeah, no, not a game that I'm probably going to be too involved in. I think there's better games.
Yeah, I must say that I've mainly seen Scarlets, of course, when they're playing a South African team. I saw that Stormers game, obviously, and to me, it's they're also gonna play pretty loose, and to me, Leinster do take their foot off. They try and get a job done, and it's almost like they're not as interested. So yeah, I wouldn't say I'd be on anything in that one. If the quote was less, I'd probably be on overs there. I was leaning in the same camp as you, Heinrich. I expect a pretty open game there. I don't think Leinster's going to feel challenged or concerned by this team. So I think they could play a little bit of an exhibition game there. So it could be loose and fun in that one. I think I'm gonna line you up for your best bets, but I'll do more accumulator ones. So I'll just quickly say what I think, and you can think about your best bet there in the meantime. Yeah. So for me, if you want to throw in a few, as I said, Glasgow on a lesser minus, or even just Glasgow winners just a little bit too short probably to take into. I usually go 3 to 10 is probably the lowest one I throw in a treble. But a little less, minus 6.5 into accumulator, and then Sharks Connacht plus into your multi there, and a Lions bigger one. If you get something like 17.5, I don't see them really losing by more than that. And then taking a Bulls a bigger Bulls plus. So those are the ones I'm going to be looking to to put together into some bets. And then the biggest one for me on those is definitely going to be, I didn't even mention the Cardiff one, is going to be taking Cardiff for the win there into as the main leg. And even my best outright bet, I don't want to steal this one from Heinrich, would probably be Cardiff -2.5.
You are stealing it from me. Yeah, no. Actually, when we spoke about this one, I didn't check the points, and I see the points is out, and I was mentioning like Zebra under 18.5 thereabouts. I see it's 24.5 points on Zebra, and that to me is way too high. I think that's 7 points too high. If you gave me a 17.5, even at home, I'd take the unders, because the Bulls didn't have it their own way against Cardiff last week. Cardiff defended quite well. Under 24.5 points on Zebra. That's my best bet of the weekend. Mine, and I like the minus as well on Cardiff. That on the handicaps, that's my best bet. But that under 24.5 on Zebra, I like that a lot.
Oh, Massa, that's a little winner there. I mean, that does sound like a heck of a lot of points for a team that isn't, and maybe hopefully they've gone out to town a little bit and had a really good time after that Sharks win and aren't quite on it. Johan Estreisen, his treble, I know he likes to throw them in as well. Lions +15, Cardiff -1.5, and Connacht +8.5. That's definitely the kind of what I'm looking at. Getting 5-1 on that does. Yeah, that does feel very big. Obviously, there's one even money there, or two even monies, I think, with the corner. And Lions probably a little bit of a cushion built in there. Yeah. But that
you're breaking.
That looks very
up again. Fine, yeah. There are you again.
It's just a little bit of signal file.
You're still breaking up. You look okay. There you're back.
Hopefully, I'm back.
You're back now.
Okay.
You're struggling now, Ryan. Yeah. So I think that will probably be the end of the show. We wrapped up the best bets. So I think Ryan is gonna go. Oh, Ryan, now you're back.
Okay, hopefully just back in time to say thanks everyone and see you next week.
Yes, we can hear. All right. That's it.
Cheers everyone.
Cheers guys.
Thanks for watching.
Good luck.
Have a good punting weekend.
Cheers, you too, and thanks, bye.
Cheers everyone.